Hey, everybody. Welcome into The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast. This is episode 172. I'm your host, Expat, along with my co-hosts, Burley of Burleman Gaming and Fubu87, who is, minimized in this episode, kind of. But anyway, thanks for coming in, Fubu. I know, you're at work right now.
Me fat, so I need to find a way to slim down. Okay, I'm minimizing so I don't feel as fat.
Yeah. And our other co-host, Turn-Based Carl, he's off this week. So anyway, guys, we got a great show for you. We're going to be talking about the state of play later on in our topic of the show. And we're going to be talking about some of the other big news stories in the world of video games and game development in this episode. So stay tuned. Yeah, it's going to be a cool episode. So Burley, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. I can't believe we're already in June. We're like halfway through the year already. It's like, where's the time gone?
Exactly. Yeah. Fubu, how you doing down there?
I have a sore throat because finally yesterday I had a day off, so I partied extra hard, and I'm not 25 anymore. So I just like my throat is killing me because of all the partying I did. So I'm good. I'm happy. I'd rather be home, but I'm good.
Nice. All right. So let's go ahead and talk about the games that we have been playing or streaming this past week, as we usually do on the show. To begin, So I'm still working on Hellblade 2. So I'm almost at the end. So I'm really loving the game. The visuals are amazing. The combat is fun. It's kind of a walking sim plus combat. The walking simulations are really fun to do because of the fact that you're walking through such beautiful terrain and everything visually in this game. So yeah, I'm still playing Hellblade 2. So Burley, what have you been playing or streaming this past week?
Well, streaming wise, I was streaming Paper Mario the 64, the first game,
Nice.
and we finished that. And I now have, after dealing with some fun stuff, because I had viewers shout out to one of them is actually one of our patrons, Fryman. They had got me Thousand Year Door, and I'll be starting that up next week. But I had some issues with that. But we finished up Paper Mario 64 on Streamwise, and I've actually been playing off stream Assassin's Creed Shadows. I mean, sorry, Ghost of Tsushima on Steam on the Steam Deck.
How's it running? How's it still running on the Steam Deck for you right now?
It runs good, even though it hasn't fully gotten that optimized. It still says like unsupported, but I can tell you it runs. You will hear the fan. You will hear your Steam Deck fan. It's like playing it on the base PS4. Your fan, it'll work out your fans for you. But it runs quite well.
Great.
The one thing I do need to do is load it up on my laptop or on my desktop to sync with PSN, so I can bring my saves. Right. So that way I can go play and have everything again. Cool.
Fubu down there, what have you been playing this past week?
I was afraid of this question because I don't want you guys to judge me, but it's team of the season on the EAFC. So I've been playing EAFC, like a final hurrah for the game, because I hope we talk about this in later podcasts. But this will probably be my final EAFC because it is official. 2K is going to start doing FIFA games, like with the FIFA brands. And hopefully that will kill whatever EA have made out of a football game. Like I'm hoping that I will stop playing EAFC after this week, and then on September 2K comes out, and I want to play 2K. I don't want to play EAFC anymore because it's a trash game. I'm addicted to it. But yes, that's what I've been playing this week.
Okay. That's an oxymoron in itself, right there. It's a trash game, but I'm addicted to it.
So you hear that, chat? What you need to do is get some memberships, super chats to help, so we can put Fubu in FC rehab.
Exactly.
Yes, I need to get off the horse.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, those are the games that we've been playing or streaming this past week. So, all right. So now it's time to get into the weekly news beat. So each and every week on the episode, we talk about some of the biggest stories in the world of video games and game development. And this week, of course, Xbox came out and, of course, confirmed that Call of Duty is coming to Game Pass day one. And I mean, it's like, were any of you surprised at this news? I mean, come on. I mean, Call of Duty, Game Pass day one. You knew that this was going to happen. So I'd like to know your reactions to this. But before we do that, I have a question for you, Burley and Fubu, because you guys are the perfect people to ask. So, yeah, I'm not surprised that Call of Duty is, coming to Game Pass day one. I'm not surprised at that whatsoever. However, my question to you guys is, how is this going to affect PlayStation sales of Call of Duty now? Since game, it's going to be on Game Pass day one. I'm wondering whether, people, obviously it's still going to be on PlayStation. It's going to be multi-platform. But now that it's going to be on Game Pass and it's going to be on Game Pass PC as well. so you can play on PC or on console. So how do you think it'll affect the PlayStation sales? Burley, I'll start with you.
That's interesting because it's a hard metric to figure out, because it will be on PC and you can use PC Game Pass like you said, or Game Pass Ultimate, and get it on the PC. Like I don't think it's going to jump up Xbox sales. It may increase Game Pass sales a bit, but this is a hard one to figure out, because to get this on PC, you're going to have a good PC to run this, because if you're going to play this, you want to have this really good experience. Plus, you're going to need, even though this is true on like the console, but on the PC side, I know it's usually bigger. You're going to need 250 gigs for Call of Duty for the multiplayer alone, because these games are just storage eaters. Yeah, I think it will affect a certain amount of people that won't. It'll dip on the PlayStation sales, but I don't think too much, because you got to have someone that has a good enough PC that's willing to be like, okay, I'm going to sub to Game Pass Ultimate or sub to PC Game Pass if they're not already,
right?
And be like, hey, okay, we'll try it this way.
Fubu, your thoughts?
I think like Burley, because people, like, I think we're a minority here because we have a PlayStation, we have a good PC, and we use those we game here and there. But the normal people, I guess, let's say like that, the normal people, they have a PlayStation and they probably have like a crappy laptop or a 5-year-old computer, and it's not going to run Call of Duty 6. You need to have a beefed up computer. Like in our situation, we could do that because I assume that we have the equipment for that. But the majority of people doesn't have that. I don't think it's gonna make people. It's not gonna affect, the sales on PlayStation, because the people that want to play this game will keep buying and playing on PlayStation. And if I'm surprised that it came on the Game Pass. Last week we mentioned this. I said it was. I assumed it was going to come out. It's like you buy a new car, right? You use the car to drive around and show off. So that's the same. They bought the Call of Duty, the studios. They're going to put on their service, like they're going to show off that we have this, so that they can attract more people. Maybe some hardcore players that only play Call of Duty, like I play only FIFA, right? People play Call of Duty, they might end up changing for an Xbox because they can play the game for free from now on. So that's what I'm thinking about there. But it's not going to affect the sales on PlayStation.
Yeah, I just don't think that this is going to move consoles sales on the Xbox side of things. Yeah. I think most people are going to. I mean, because most people that are playing on Xbox are also playing on PC. I think more than there are on PlayStation. I mean, that might change in the future because PlayStation, we're going to talk about that during the State of Play announcements and all. But I mean, I still think more Xbox gamers would play on PC. So I don't see consoles being sold just for Call of Duty. Even though it's going to be on Game Pass, I just don't see that. So, yeah. So that's my take on it. But anyway, go ahead.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not even talking about majority. I'm saying hardcore players, like people that can't live without. And now I'm 100% sure it's not going to be people are not going to be like, oh, Code 6 is on. It's free on Xbox. Let me buy it. No, it's going to be like those really hardcore people that might change, because it's going to be like, well, at least I saved like $70 a year on this game, like something like that. It's just and the controller on the Xbox, it's better to play. It's more ergonomic on your hands than the PlayStation one.
Yeah.
The real question is, how much is this going to affect on the Xbox sales side? Like Call of Duty, let's be honest, is if it's not the top selling game every year, it's in the top 3.
Yeah.
So I'm curious on the Xbox side. Let's say I'm just pulling random numbers here. Let's say it sells 12 million on Xbox normal per year. Is it going to go down to 9, less, 11?
Yeah.
Like that's where I'm really interested to see how much on the dip sales wise go there.
Yeah.
They will sell less copies. They will sell less copies, I'm pretty sure. But I think they will make more money because the money that they make is on the skins, the season pass, all that things. What's going to happen is a lot of people have Game Pass, which is a great service. Obviously, it's a great service. And there's a lot of people that have that, and they will want to try. Maybe they'll like the game. Maybe their friends are playing, they start joining. They will sell less copies, but I think they will have a much higher player base, and that player base will spend the money on the season pass skins and all that type of stuff, and it's going to compensate the money that they're not going to win from the physical sales or digital sales, from the sales in general.
Well, you know what's gonna, when it comes to less sales for Call of Duty on Xbox, you know when that's definitely going to happen? Next year, when GTA 6 comes out, because because when GTA 6 comes out, that takes precedence over everything. I mean, is going to explode. You know, and we're going to talk a little bit about Call of Duty here, or of GTA 6 here in a couple of minutes. But I mean, when GTA 6 comes out, you're going to have your hardcore Call of Duty players that that's the only game that they play. But when it comes to when GTA 6 comes out, man, I mean,
get out of the way.
Get out. Exactly. Yeah. Hold my beer, because that is going to be a huge monster when it comes out. And no matter, even if Call of Duty is on Game Pass, it's not going to matter, So, we shall see. But all right, let's transition to the next story. So speaking, go ahead, Fubu. You want to say something?
No, I'm just going to say, if Xbox wants to win with the Game Pass, release GTA 6 on the Game Pass exclusive, and they're going to win everything. They're going to sell consoles. They're going to do everything.
That's not going to happen.
Rockstar would never let that happen.
No,
they would say to Xbox, you have to write us a blank check. Xbox like, we're not going to do that because they're like, the amount of GTA 5 just sold and still selling, and all the shark cards and all that, like Rockstar has a license to print money.
Exactly.
Microsoft is not going to want to write that check.
Exactly. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the next story, guys. So Larian's boss, he was saying that Baldur's Gate 3 doesn't strike fear in the hearts of AAA developers. And speaking of GTA 6, in the story that came out about this, do you know how much money GTA 6 is spending to make their game, that Rockstar is spending? Do you know how much? It's amazing.
I saw that. It was like $2 billion.
Yeah. $2 billion, guys.
Yeah,
that is a sick.
That's
sick
too much
amount.
money.
Yeah, way too much. So, but anyway,
they made that back in GTA 5's first year.
Exactly. So, yeah. So my question to you guys is, the AAA space here. We've got The Witcher 4 coming, and we've just talked about GTA 6, and actually the Witcher 4 now, they have over 400 developers working on that game now, as well as all the Cyberpunk staff is basically moved over now. There's pretty much no one working on Cyberpunk now anymore, so because that's finished. But what's interesting is they said that what was it? Cyberpunk cost $400 million to make, and Baldur's Gate only had a budget of $100 million. So, but I mean, I agree with him. I don't think these other developers truly, worry or care about, whether or not Baldur's Gate 3 was successful, or not when it comes to the development of their own games. They're worried about their own development, cycles. But yeah, I mean, just the size and scope of some of these upcoming games, obviously they're going to be bigger, So what are you guys' thoughts? Fubu, I'll start with you on this. What did you think of these comments and and the size and
I
the scope of
agree.
these big AAA games that are coming? Yeah.
Look, I agree with what it's saying. First of all, I want to say this. Maybe it's not a hot take. Maybe you'll disagree with me. But I think one of the reasons that Baldur's Gate was successful was because of the name. That was already an established IP when it came to video games. If it was, I don't know, turned into a bear RPG or something, I don't know, maybe it wouldn't sell as much. It's a great game. Don't get me wrong. It's a great game. I love the game. I love the type of game. I'm that gamer. I love that. But as you can see from my face, I'm an old school gamer. I'm already old, So the young ones nowadays, they don't like that type of game that
Fubu,
much.
you're not old.
They
Fubu, you're not old. Shut up, Fubu. You're not old.
but
Come on,
what
I'm
I'm
the
trying to
old
say
guy
is,
here. I'm the old guy in this group.
this generation, this younger generation that has time to game, which ironically is the ones that have time to fully complete Baldur's Gate, but they prefer a more action-oriented games, which it's the case of The Witcher 4 and will be of GTA 6, obviously. So they will make, there's no threat like Larian and Baldur's Gate 3 is not a threat for these types of games, because the people that will always like to play those games more because more action oriented, they will be more beautiful because as Project Reds and Rockstar, they have, I'm not going to say infinite amounts of money, but they have a lot of money. Like you said, 400 devs for Witcher 4. That's impossible for Larian to do something like that. It's literally impossible. They would go bankrupt if they had to make a perfect game. So these bigger studios, they're well at ease because they will have a better product. Because what is great on Baldur's Gate 3 that everyone loved, it's the characters and the world.
The world
No
building.
one's been saying it. Yeah, the world building. No one's saying is that's the best gameplay I've ever seen. No one said anything about. The only thing they liked was the dice, but that's Dungeons and Dragons stuff. They didn't say anything about the gameplay. Of course, Witcher 4 and GTA 6 will win on gameplay alone, and with graphics that they can provide. Of course, they're no threat. They're not afraid of Baldur's Gate 3 or any type of game like Baldur's Gate.
Yeah, Burley, your thoughts?
Yeah. Well, at one point, Fubu was bringing up earlier, like Baldur's Gate, the name did help it. But one of the things that did help it was that the game was in early access for years. So people got to see the game over time at the different points and see. So that way people were able to buy in cheaper on early access to get it, take the risk, take the chance then, and see how it developed over, because it was in early access for like 3 to 4 years. Right. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it was the reason, like this game, as they said, like, yeah, these other games can eclipse us and all that. One of the things is it may have won Game of the Year last year, but it was nowhere near the top seller. It is a great game, don't get me wrong, but Hogwarts Legacy eclipsed it in sales. And so it's the thing. They're like, yeah, we're proud of what we made, but we can easily be eclipsed by GTA 6 because we all know GTA 6 is going to sell millions of copies fast.
Yeah.
Witcher 4, as long as they come out good and not have the cyberpunk situation, it is going to sell millions in days. And there's other devs, and like Expat said, like, yeah, they all have their other stuff. They're working, they're more focused on that. You can't be focused on being like, oh my God, Larian pulled out Baldur's Gate 3. It was so good. No, you got to be like, good on them, but I need to focus and make my project the best it can be. And so it comes out and we get the acclaim and we can show everyone, yeah, we can do this. We can make this game in this kind of genre and step up to the plate and show off our talent and our skills.
Well, speaking of The Witcher 4 and GTA 6, I wonder, like I said, there's like 400 developers working on Witcher 4 now for CD Projekt Red, but how many developers are working on GTA 6, do you think?
Oh boy, I don't even want to imagine that.
I mean, who knows, man? I don't know. I don't think 1,000, but
well,
still.
Rockstar last count that I can kind of see was they're at 2,000 employees.
Yeah,
mind you, they have Red Dead, and they've got probably about 5 people still doing the small bare minimum for Red Dead that's going on.
Yeah, 2,000 employees, but I mean, how many actual developers actually working on the game?
I'm sure there's at least probably at some points there were over 500 developers working on GTA 6, but they still have a bunch on GTA 5 for the online.
Okay, let's speculate a little bit. So when it comes to Witcher 4 and GTA 6, which world will be bigger?
Witcher.
The Witcher's world or GTA 6's Miami?
No, it's going to be Witcher for one simple reason. Unless they do like a big city and stuff like that, yes, they will have their big areas. They'll have their main cities, but most of the map will be, I want to say bare. When I say bare, obviously I'm not saying it's a desert. They're going to have trees and stuff like that, but they won't need to program NPCs. They will need to make a smaller world for GTA 6. I'm not going to say it's going to be small. I'm just saying smaller than The Witcher. But they will have to program, like they'll have big buildings. They'll have to program cars. They will have to program NPCs. And of course, then they will have their wildlife, which is going to be a smaller area as well, but with not so much activity. So because of the way that they're going to program, the way I'm thinking, I think Witcher 4 is going to be bigger, but won't be as crowded as at GTA 6.
You know what? I'm gonna say GTA 6 is gonna be bigger because on the fact of not only do you have the big Miami map they're gonna do with this because they're gonna make this thing big, but you're forgetting the biggest thing they have, the online GTA Online.
Yeah.
They're gonna make that map big. So many casinos, so many heist spots you can do.
Exactly.
Because they knew when they got that right with GTA 5, you don't think they're gonna make that small. They're gonna make that as big they can be like, okay, this cost per area they're gonna make.
Yeah, but they could expand on it too. I mean, they could go into different regions of Florida in this game. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing about it. I mean, every single street corner of the city of Miami is probably going to be in this game. I mean, it's going to be amazing. I mean, The Witcher 4 is going to be amazing too whenever we get it. So when we get both of them, we probably I think it's a safe bet that GTA 6 will come out next year, 2025. Yeah. So whether The Witcher 4, probably not next year, but I mean,
could you just imagine the two of them going head to head, coming out the same week or within a week or two of each other?
Well, sales. I mean, still Rockstar would crush them still, but I mean,
yeah. Witcher doesn't stand a chance. Like if they put both games in front of me, I'm gonna jump to GTA 6. No questions asked.
Right.
Ooh.
Exactly. So. Yeah, GTA 6, man, we're looking forward to that. And we're looking forward to The Witcher 4. We're looking forward to all the big AAA games that are coming. So really excited for that.
We want all games.
Yeah. Okay, so it's time to move on to Silent Hill. So, Burley, I'm going to let you start with this one. So we got some of the trailer in the State of Play, and we're going to show that a little bit later. But first, the showcase that they did after the State of Play, it was called the Silent Hill Transmission. So what news did we get out of Transmission, Burley?
So we got a little more. They showed around, I think it was like 13 minutes of actual gameplay of Silent Hill 2 Remake. So, because the State of Play spent like a minute on it, so you got to see more of the stuff and showing you that they're keeping to the original Silent Hill 2, but they're also, because it is a remake and modernizing certain things, they are changing some stuff. So we got to learn and see some of that. But we did learn is that near the end of when they were showing off Remake 2, they're doing something that I hate. There is your multiple editions of the game. And if you're willing to pay them more money, get the game 2 days early. So instead of October 8th, October 6th, if you buy the deluxe edition of the game.
Yeah. So, Fubu, your thoughts on the transmission?
Look, what Pearlie's saying, it triggers me a lot. Like, deluxe editions, this and that, just a way to make more money out of people, because I know this is a remake. Look, the trailer was great. I saw the trailer on the showcase. Like, it looks beautiful, looks great, but one of the things that it's really important for this game, because you could shine all at once, but it's the feel that you're playing the game. And Silent Hill was probably, at least the original ones that came out on the PlayStation, there were better games because of the ambience they gave, like they immersed the players. Like, it's all good and beautiful. The edition start the game early or whatever. I don't like that in games because it takes the focus out of what we really want, which is the game and the gameplay and how it feels. So I'm not a big fan of this. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm not a big fan of this. What they're doing with Silent Hill. Just release the game. I think they did the same thing with Resident Evil 4 when they did the remake. I think you had the different editions. I just hope they don't put like microtransactions in the game like they did with what Capcom did with Resident Evil. I hope they just let the game be the game and not make the money a cash cow that it could be. It could make a lot of money. Don't get me wrong on that. It can make a lot of money, but they are more worried about making money than saying good things about the game, showing more gameplay, showing more everything. So this is one of those games that I'm going to be like, I'll wait and see how it is. I wouldn't pre-order this game. Like, first of all, I'm not a horror fan, but I wouldn't pre-order this game even if I was a fan, because I don't like what they're doing.
Burley, any other thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'm interested in Silent Hill 2 remake because I've heard I've not really played much of the Silent Hill games. Like, I played that downloadable, the short message, and they let us know in this event that had been downloaded over 2.5 million times. And it is a cool little experience thing, psychological horror. It gets tough near the end, though. I'm not going to lie on that.
Right.
So, like, what they showed of this Silent Hill 2 remake, like Blooper Team, because I know people who were very curious and worried about how they're going to do this. It's looking good, and from what I can tell, faithful to the original with changing some stuff, which all these remakes do. So you kind of get used to that. It's just because we know this is going to be next gen pricing. So for me in Canada, is this worth $101 to me? That, and I'm going to tell you right now, nothing I've seen of this game that is going to be like, do I want to spend $101 on this?
Yeah.
Or even at the non-next gen, $90. It's like, I don't know if this is worth that kind of money. I have to see more, but we'll just have to wait and see how this game with more, because I'm sure we'll see maybe a little bit of it at Summer Game Fest and see on other events.
Yeah, we're probably going to be seeing more of it. I mean, and there's a lot of events coming up next week. And of course, in next week's episode, we're going to be covering some of that and the following week as well with all the events that are coming up. So let's go ahead and move on, though. And we'll be showing a little bit of the Silent Hill 2 trailer when we get to the State of Play news. But the next story, PlayStation's new CEO, Herman Holst, So he thinks that, now, PC players are going to buy a PlayStation to play their sequels. So like, okay, you play Spider-Man on PlayStation, and then you or on PlayStation or whatever, and you buy a PS5 for a PlayStation 2. If you played it on PC, God of War, you played on PC, maybe you'll buy a PS5 to play Ragnarok or whatever. So I mean, what did you guys think of these comments and the strategy of PlayStation now bringing more of their games to PC, but in trying to entice people to buy a PlayStation 5, just putting the first game on PC? I don't think that a lot of PC players are going to buy into that. I think they're, it's kind of like the Game Pass patience. On the Xbox side of things, a lot of people are not going to buy an Xbox just to play the next game. They're going to wait and play it on Game Pass with their existing console. So I don't think there's going to be a lot of PC players that are going to buy a PlayStation just to play the sequel. What are your guys' thoughts on this, Burley? What do you think?
Yeah, like I get it from where he's coming from, but it has worked and hasn't, because the thing is, like, they know if they do day and date, then they're going to lose out on PS5 hardware sales and all this and that. Since Sony is not the company that Microsoft is, they rely on these hardware sales and everything else. So they want to keep that as much as they can. You always know they're going to be the people that are never going to buy your hardware, and okay, we'll release a game every couple of years on Steam, and get those Steam sales and the PC sales side, which is good. But it's not just the sequels that will, you'll get some that will go for the sequels, but it's more for the games that are on PlayStation that have not come anywhere else, like Bloodborne. People were mad that there's no Bloodborne to PC. So, like, you've got stuff like that, so you can say, like, oh, you want Spider-Man 2, Bloodborne. Yeah. This and that and other games. Get a PS5. You want to wait? If you want to wait, you can wait it out and see what games will come to Steam.
Yeah. Fubu, what did you think of the comments and their strategy? Yeah.
If Final Fantasy VII Part 3 went to Xbox as an exclusive, you know what I would do? I would play it. I would play it on YouTube, because I'm not kind of buying an Xbox to play a game. I wouldn't do anything like that. This is the most stupid thing I ever heard in my life. It's stupid. Like, people that play on, if someone wants to play on PlayStation, they can play on PlayStation. If they want to play on PC, they play on PC, whatever. Look, they can even get an emulator to play PlayStation games on PC. I know I'm not a PlayStation 5. I do get that. But this is, I don't know. Aren't CEOs supposed to be smart or something? Because this guy sounds really dumb. He doesn't know the market. He doesn't know anything that's going on. I think it's a very, very bad strategy if they are counting on that.
He's a former studio head. He's a former studio head. He was Guerrilla Games' studio head for a long time.
Yeah, I get it. But where I work might be the worst place that I've worked, but outside I'm going to say it's the best place I've ever worked. So if he's working for Sony, he's going to say good stuff about Sony. So I won't believe him. I guess that's the way I think. But they already have a feedback of what PC players think about PlayStation, with the Helldivers to debacle of forcing people to have a PSN account. It's not going to work. What he says, it's not going to work, because people that are on PC, they want to stay on PC. They don't. If they see a good game, they will wait for the game to come out on PC. Like, unless it's the most perfect game ever that people are like, I need to play it. No, that's not going to happen. And I really don't think there's a game like that. Like I said, if Final Fantasy VII went to Xbox, I wouldn't buy an Xbox to to play the game. I got a Switch, for example. I love Zelda, but I didn't play a Switch to play Zelda. Like I was gonna watch it on YouTube. I was gonna ask for a friend to borrow it, but I would never buy a Switch to play Zelda. I bought a Switch because I bought it because of everything they have, all their exclusive IPs.
Right.
That's why I bought
Right.
the Switch back when it came out. That's why I did that. So I think is moronic. That's the word I'm trying to say. I think it's moronic the way that he's thinking about, and it seems like he doesn't know anything of what he's saying.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think PC players are just they're gonna stay on PC because they like playing games on PC, and they're happy with the fact that PlayStation games are now coming to PC, so they can play them where they play all their games. So, you know, and
Exactly.
that's and like PlayStation players, I'm sure that they're excuse me, happy that some of these Xbox games are coming to PlayStation. That doesn't mean they're going to buy an Xbox. You know,
Exactly.
so yeah, I mean, yeah, it's but I don't know. Maybe some people that are both PC and console players, you know, if they don't have a PlayStation and they primarily play on PC, maybe they'll invest in a PlayStation because they want to play other PlayStation games, not only the ones that are coming to PC. But yeah, I mean, we shall see. So
Look,
anyway,
I was looking at my notes. Let me just finish with something.
yeah,
There's something that he's not considering as well, because if you want to play on PC, you can get a cheap PC, I guess, and you can do a lot of stuff. But I don't think people are gonna buy a 500 or $400 or euros device to play a game. I think that's if it was like 200 euros or 250. Okay, that's a cheap price to buy and play games, but paying like 500 euros just to play a game, come on, that's also another barrier on why I think it's a moronic idea. I was just looking at the notes and realized I wrote that. That's so I'm done. We can move. We can move.
Fubu, that's my decision to make whether to move on or not. So, but anyway, thank you so much for that. Okay, all right, now it's
Sorry.
no problem. So it's time to move on. As Fubu said, we're going to be talking about the state of play. So yeah, we got some announcements at the state of play, and it was about what 35 minutes, Burley, I think it was the state of play.
Yeah, it's about 35 minutes.
Yeah, and so my question though is, you know, is that it for Sony when it comes to the summer events? I mean, did we see everything at the state of play, or do they have something up their sleeve that Jeff Keighley might announce at the Summer Game Fest or something that we don't know about? Or was that it? What do you think?
I think this is not just it. I think remember, this is Sony. They're really bad with these state of play showcases and stuff like this. We've said it for how many years now and stuff like this. There are still a few other games that we have rumors and that may be coming this year and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is just what Sony thought would be the kind of best. I'm assuming here would be the best ones to bring out.
Mm-hmm.
Now, like I one of the things I hated is they're like, oh, we're bringing out all this stuff for 2024, and you know they were putting some kind of messaging like that they're going to give updates on studios, and it's like, you didn't give us crap. Like I don't need to know everything, but at least give me something. Like there are studios like Blue Point. They've been making an original game since 2021.
Yeah.
If a trailer and the game's not ready to be shown off, you could give me something of
Right.
like, hey, Blue Point's actually working on a RPG, a puzzle game, platformer, some kind of info so I can understand. Like Insomniac, people I know were mad where a bunch of Insomniac stuff wasn't shown. And it's like, Insomniac, I think they're just going to hold back for a little bit because of all the hacks and all the leaks of all their different games and their projects.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So let's go ahead and show some of the games that were shown off. So I'm going to go ahead and play some of this now. So let me go ahead and move on. So Concord. So this was the first game that was shown off here. I mean, I had the same reaction, Burley. It's like another Valorant, another Apex, another Overwatch. I mean, 5-person kind of like a battle arena. 5 characters, 5v5. So, what were you guys' thoughts?
If I want to play this, I'll go to it. Yeah, I'm saying if I want to play this, I'll go to Apex. I hate it like this. I was paying attention to see the show. As soon as this was the first game, I was like, I'm going to do something else. I'll put this on the background. And it started really bad. The showcase started really bad for me. I lost interest when they showed this. This is so generic.
Yeah, one of the things that I did not like with the State of Play, this was a third of the whole presentation.
Right.
With this. Right. This was like, this is not my style of game. I can admit it, but they spent a third on it, and then they're like giving you like story kind of cinematics with this, and trying to be like, we are Guardians of the Galaxy, just to try and get people entertained into this. It's like, I don't care. And then they're like talking in there, and they're like, we're gonna give like weekly cutscenes. I can tell you from people that I know that play these kind of games and hearing their reactions, they're like, I don't give 2 shits about a flipping cutscene you're going to give me every week. And it's like, this is, and we from the way they're talking about this, and like, because this is PC and PS5, and we get like a beta next month and coming in August. This isn't going to be like Overwatch 2, where it was at least free to play. This is going to be, you put your money down on this, pay for it, and then you got to keep buying, and they're going to sell you skins and stuff like that. So it's going to be like $70 up front, $70 for Americans up front, plus how much they're going to charge you for other skins and future maps and future weapons and ability.
Right.
But honestly, I don't see this game sticking around. Like, I think this is going to be a game within a year or two. Yeah. If it'll last that long.
The gaming space is so saturated with these types of games now. I mean, how many gamers are gonna move away from Valorant to play this? How many gamers are going to move away from Apex to play this, or Overwatch for that matter? I mean, so
I wouldn't.
Yeah. I mean, but some of the characters in this, I mean, almost look like dead ripoffs of some of the characters in Apex. I mean, the one with the rounded hat and all. I mean, that looked like an Apex character big time. So I don't know, man. We shall see.
I haven't played Apex in a while, so I don't remember the characters. But like I said, I saw this, I thought about Apex. Nah, I'd rather play Apex.
And this was a game that one of our other co-hosts, he's not with us today, but Turn-Based Carl was up on Dynasty Warriors. So
we can talk about Dynasty Warriors. I love Dynasty Warriors, but I'm already disappointed with this game. I'm already disappointed because I was like, oh God, it's Dynasty Warriors, and let's go with the same thing. Then when you finish the trailer, it does say Dynasty Warriors Origins. I was like, oh, they're doing something new. That's interesting. Because I do remember there was a Super Nintendo game or a Nintendo game like many years ago. I remember when I was playing, which is the story of the Three Kingdoms. And you start with Liu Bei, and then he becomes the Lord, and then you play with his son, and you conquer all of China in this case. And I was hoping it would be something like that, like a prequel, because you've had Dynasty Warriors 9, okay? So 9 games, the same thing, the same story, the same characters, the same everything. I was hoping that this was an origin story, like how it led to the Yellow Turban Rebellion, which is the first level of the game. I was hoping on something like that. Then I went to do some research, and basically it's the same thing, but you play with your own created character. So I was disappointed on that aspect. I was hoping like a prequel. I was expecting a new story in that universe. I was expecting a new story.
Yeah, and 2025. I mean, I was surprised at that. I thought it would come sooner. Burley, your thoughts on Dynasty?
Yeah, this was one of those things of like, okay, because they're telling us earlier before this, the state of play focusing on 2024, and when you look overall, 2024 is just a footnote on this.
Yeah.
It's mostly 2025.
Right.
This, like Dynasty Warriors, I never got into the mainline Dynasty Warriors. I'll be honest, I got into Hyrule Warriors, the Legend of Zelda one on the Wii U.
Right.
Great one. They really did a good job with that. They nailed that one, and then I will admit it, I bought the One Piece Warriors 4, and it's just goofy, silly with the One Piece abilities, the devil fruits and all that, and just that is fun. These are never games, but like besides the Zelda one, these are never games I pick up at full price. This is okay, this is $20. Pick it up. This is where you want to just press a couple buttons, just destroy through weak mooks, and just feel powerful and feel like a god, and all that, and just have fun. These are never games that of like, oh my god, I need this day one.
Yeah. Okay, so here we have Silent Hill 2 now. So what are you guys' thoughts on this? Now, some of this trailer here, I mean, and some people were, a little bit, taken aback by the character, the style of how they remade some of these, characters' facial images and all, but I don't know. Does this really look like a next gen type of game to you? I mean, I know it's a remake in a sense, but what were your thoughts on this? Yeah,
I hope it's not the final product. I think it's not the final. I hope it's not the final product, because there's always the situation of they release footage, and then when the game comes out, the footage is better. But yeah, I do like the nurse. I think this animation with the nurse is actually quite interesting. I did like that. I think the trailer does look scary, but going back on my early comments on this, I think it's one of those games that you need to feel the gameplay. You need to feel the game on your hands to say if it's a good game or a bad game.
Right. I don't know. It might just be me, but I mean, when it comes to Capcom or even Konami here, and when it comes to some of these games, it feels like a PS3 game in a sense, but you're playing it on you're going to be playing it on a PS5, but that's just me. But October 8th, go ahead.
Graphically, I can kind of agree. This kind of looks like this could have been on the PS4.
Yeah.
And some of it, like some of the stuff, you can see that polish. So we'll have to wait and see. Like this, I'm curious on this game. Like I said earlier, I didn't expect to really see this at the state of play. I thought because we were having the transmission, we were going to see this only at the transmission. But no, you got like 30-second trailer and the release date reveal.
Yeah.
Here in the state of play.
Yeah. So, and October 8th, I mean, I don't know how that's going to work out, because that's going to be a stacked month. So,
well, October is stacked.
Yeah. So, but this game is going to be a big seller next year. I mean, of course, Monster Hunter Wilds, but I mean, the lips and the speaking just didn't sync very well in this trailer. So hopefully they fix that before the game comes out. So that was just a little pet peeve of mine. Yeah. So, yeah, man, I mean, this game looks pretty. I mean, it looks really pretty. And Burley, this game is coming day one for the Switch too, right? I'm thinking that the next generation Switch, we're going to get this. So
yeah, I can't remember if this is day one on Nintendo as well. Like that I can't remember. But hey, this looks good. I'm not the biggest Monster Hunter fan. Like I played a good amount of time in the world, but the problem is The beginning is fun, and crafting, upgrading your weapons is fun. But once you get from like one monster to the next monster, and it's like, your weapon is plus 20. You now need to be plus 30 to stand a chance and actually damn. And it's just like,
it's very grindy. Yeah, I got it. Very grind.
Like to reference it, you are a slave to the grind for this game.
Yeah, that's super.
Fun story. Monster Hunter, the first one, was one of my first online games on the PlayStation 2 because I had that the device that you connected behind the PlayStation. I bought that from one of my neighbors, and I had that. And I remember because I had Monster Hunter because I did like the concept, but I was like, Jesus, playing alone sucks. This is really hard. And then I got that device. I started playing online, like it was my first online experience on the PlayStation. It was really good online. The community, the last one that came out, Monster Hunter World. I played that one at the time when I was streaming. It was really, really fun. And if this is day one for the new Nintendo system, I'm going to consider this game a system seller because there's a lot of hardcore people that love this.
It will be. It will definitely be a system seller here in Japan for sure. I mean, this game is going to be big out here, so it's going to be huge. Yeah. In Japan.
And one of the neat things that you'll see at like the very end, it's a quick little thing, is they're like, if you have Monster Hunter World or Monster Hunter World Iceborne, if you have saves from there, you can import and you gain little stuff, little extra things, which is really something I actually got to commend Capcom on this. Oh my God, I'm giving praise to Capcom. They're giving you stuff if you've played some of the older games, giving you stuff in there, which is a nice thing. So if you've been a fan of these games and you've played some of these, you're getting some extra little goodies. Good on them. I love this. That they'll just get the chance. And like, this looked good. I understand. Yeah, this is 2025. Whenever this game shows up, Monster Hunter's been just selling and selling.
I think it's going to come day one to the Switch too. I think it's going to come. So I'm saying probably April. That this game is going to come out. So because they would be dumb not to put this on the Switch 2 day one. I mean, because the Switch 2 is going to sell like hotcakes, especially out here in Japan. And this game is going to be big out here. So you want to put it on the system that has the most, consoles and player base, and that's the Switch. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's backwards compatible as well. You'll be able to play it on the mainline Switch that's out now, and then play it on the Switch 2, and then of course PlayStation day one as well. So
and if they can get it on Steam, you get it on all these damn handhelds, the Steam Deck, the ROG Ally, and all these stuff. You get this game everywhere. This game, when it comes out, whenever it comes out, is going to be huge. Capcom has been doing well with these games, and I can't wait to see more. Like I'm hoping, one thing I would love for just people like me that like the gameplay in this, having a little mode, like a casual kind of mode, makes it easier for the grinding of the stuff. Because I like the story in these, and I love taking down and beating these behemoth of monsters.
Yeah.
But I don't want to spend 4 hours grinding between each boss fight.
Right. Yeah. So, okay, guys.
Yeah, that's a problem with the game, basically. Yeah. It's too much grind.
Yeah. Okay, guys, let's go ahead and move on. So next up, there's the bonuses that you get as well. So with the Monster Hunter Wilds. So yeah, guys, State of Bots, Astrobot, and it's interesting that it's only called Astrobot. They didn't put any other part of the, they didn't name it anything differently.
There's still time for them to,
but this, I mean, Team Asobi, I mean, this is going to be fun. I mean, when I first got the PS5, of course, the Astrobot game that was included. That was really cool to play. So I'm excited for this. I can't wait to see more of it, and it looks pretty too. And I love the humor aspects of it all as well. So what did you guys think of the Astrobot? And of course, this was the last showing at the State of Play. So what'd you think?
This was the best. This was the best. I've been thinking, like, when was the last time we had just like this type of lively platform game? Because it's going to be a platform, a goofy game, like you said, the comedy. I think it's been a while that since PlayStation has done this. It has been a while. I'm thinking about this. The last game that has this type of feel, for me at least, I don't know. I think it was Knack, at least the first one. Knack felt like this. It had a little bit more of fighting, but it felt like a platformer, a small puzzler. Before that, I saw this and I thought about a lot of Jack and Daxter, the first one, because the second one and the third one became really dark, and it just feels like a feel good game. It feels like a feel good game with some puzzles, and it's something for the family, which is not something that you usually see PlayStation do. Like, they don't do a lot of things for the family, and I think it's something that you can grab your kids, you can grab your friends, and you can try and pass the level, and whoever passes first, it's the best one.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think the last game like Sony for something kind of like this, besides the first one, obviously that you got included on the PS5, I would say Sackboy's
Yes.
Huge Adventure
Yeah.
on the PS4, PS5. Like, that was a great little
Oh, yeah,
platformer.
yes,
This I
that's
love
true.
the original, and I used to say, and the expat knows this.
Yeah.
Anytime when I ever heard anyone was getting a PS5, I was like, first thing you boot up is Astros. You boot that thing up. You get all the references. You can see what the PS5 can do. Also teaches you everything on the DualSense and really shows you those adaptive triggers.
Yeah.
So it's like
I
great, and that
remember.
was like
Sorry
a
to interrupt you.
4 to 5 hour
I was
experience.
saying, sorry,
Go
I
ahead,
think we're having
Fubo.
connection
Yeah.
issues. Sorry. No, I was saying, like you said, one of the first things you tell people to try is this game. I remember that when I got the PlayStation 5, I remember Leah and her sister. They went to my house. We had like an afternoon all together, and we were playing the shit out of this game. The shit out of this game. We were playing it, trying the controller, the haptic feedback, everything that the controller had to offer. So sorry, that came to mind. I really had to say it before I forgot. But what Pearl is saying is completely true.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, guys. So your overall thoughts of the State of Play? I mean, I thought it was average at best.
Yeah.
I think the highlight for me was the Astrobot, of course, because who doesn't want another Astrobot game? Is they're really cool. So that and Monster Hunter Wilds looks pretty impressive. I'm looking forward to that. But I don't think that's a PlayStation game for me in particular. I'll probably play Monster Hunter Wilds on the Switch or on the new Switch when it comes. Yeah, so I think those were the two highlights for myself. Burley, how about you? Overall assessment of the State of Play. Yeah.
Overall, this was a 6 out of 10. If you had to make me give a score, like Astrobot, I love that they ended with that, and they ended strong with that because they showed a lot. And then we learned, if you went on PlayStation's website afterwards, they told you this is like 80 levels. So this is like, they are making a good sized game with this, which gives me more and more hype. And like you said, who doesn't want more Astrobot? Like, I cannot wait for that. But like, that I'll give them credit. They did I think they did the fair amount for VR that they had to. You had the 2 VR games. You had the Alien game where you got like 30 seconds. And you had the Swords game that you got like 2 minutes. So you know what? They did enough with VR2 to try and, entice people and, remind them PSVR 2 comes out.
And we got that other battle arena for Marvel too.
The Marvel Rivals, we already kind of knew that was going to come to consoles eventually,
Right.
because that was just like, you're not going to keep that on the mobile market.
Yeah.
You're going to put that everywhere to milk it to get it as much. So it's like, yeah, that's neat. But a lot of these games in here, there was nothing of that wow factor. Like you had Astrobat was the wow factor. Monster Hunter World, I'm interested in. Monster Hunter World, sorry.
Monster Hunter Wilds.
Wilds. I don't know why I'm thinking World.
It's weird. I mean, World's Wilds. You know, that's just call it Monster
put out
Hunter
like
5
30 games.
Just put a number in front of it or something. You know, so.
Monster Hunter 2025. We'll do that.
Yeah,
those were the two biggest standouts. Silent Hill. Yeah, like it's like, okay, yeah, this is keeping it on the radar, but like some of these other games, like that one, the anime styled one, that was like, okay, this just reminds me of Genshin Impact and stuff like that. And it's just like, okay, I don't see myself playing. And like the other kind of like Souls like Ghost Tsushima style game they were showing is like, okay, you're showing me this.
Yeah,
it's not coming till next year. This is way too early of a look, and I'm not getting enough to make me be like excited for this.
And then, of course, as we were talking earlier, when it came to the Herman Hulst story with games coming to PC and sequels, hopefully PC players would buy a console. God of War Ragnarok coming to PC, but what they did not mention is you have to create a PlayStation Network account.
Yeah, I don't like. The thing was, like, with at least Ghost, they're like, you can play it because I've been playing it on the Steam Deck. You don't need a PSN account. You need it if you want to do the online, so you can cross play with PlayStation. Okay, I can understand that. I don't necessarily agree and stuff like that. But if you also want to grab your save from PSN and your trophy information and stuff like that, you need your PSN account. That part I understand. But it's like, why for God of War? Online games, I'm more understanding. This is not one of the God of War, even though you've got the DLC, but like it's all single player stuff.
Yeah.
Why do I need my PSN account?
Yeah, it's just baiting players to hopefully get them into the PlayStation ecosystem, and it's like, well, of course we have to have a PSN account to play this, and so maybe we should buy a PS5. But that's
no, that sucks. They had more than enough time to correct this after what they saw what happened again with Helldivers, like already mentioned. After what they saw what happened, they should have no, let's put this away for at least 6 months until people forget about it, and then we're gonna try and slide it in again slowly. I think they would have less backlash if they started right now with God of War, you're in Ghost of Tsushima. Oh, if you want to play, you'll have to make this PlayStation account. I think it would be less of a backlash. Okay, I got the game. I can do the PlayStation. But saying that either you have the PlayStation account or you don't play Helldivers, which was probably the biggest game in the world at that moment, that was a very, very poor timing. And they should have backed off a little bit, because I don't agree with that, with forcing people. Because now people are going to say, oh, they're making me make a PlayStation account for God of War. They did the same with Helldivers, and then balls back, everything comes back to memory. I think they should have 6 to 1 year, put it on the sides, let it lay low, let people forget, because people forget very quick, let people forget, and then sneakily start putting in these games. And then when it was a standard, let's say there was already 10 games from PlayStation 5 and you had to make the account, then you can put on the big game, because it's the PlayStation standard, then people wouldn't get as mad.
Well, I'll tell you this much. I mean, PlayStation strategy, and it's never going to change. Everything's going to come to console first and foremost, only day one. And then later on, maybe a year later or something, it's going to come to PC. You're never going to see a day where it's going to come day and date, console and PC. And then when it comes to putting it on other platforms, that's not going to happen. That's just PlayStation strategy, because they're still in the mindset of, the, consoles or, the main selling point. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Well, they're the number one in the hardware
Right.
of gaming. They're number one. Nintendo has been doing great and amazing this generation, and Nintendo always, besides the Wii U time, Nintendo generally has been always does well, but Nintendo never fully goes for that domination and getting everything.
No.
Nintendo is their own beast. They will do what they want.
Exactly.
Sony is doing what they feel, and they want to keep trying to stay on top.
Yeah.
In this area.
Yeah. Yeah, but that day is going to end at some point in the future here in the next, I think, maybe 10 or 15 years, because we're gonna come to a point when digital, and cloud gaming the technology is going to improve vastly, whereas people don't need to have a box sitting on their table anymore, and so they're going to have to, at that point, realize that console sales are not going to be, their saving grace. Yeah. So we'll see. That's for another time, and it's still a game. Still gotta go. Yeah. So we play a ton of stuff coming out when it comes to conferences. June 8th, 7th is the Summer Game with Kilo. More place there.
Yeah.
It's going to be really interesting.
Yeah. Well, like we got Spider-Man 2 stuff there last year, and we just lost Expat there. Oh.
Show along with the Xbox Showcase, the PC Games Show, and the Ubisoft Forward. So we got a ton of stuff coming next week and the week after. So we're looking forward to covering stuff that comes out of those conferences for you. So yeah,
we're going to be busy bees, man. It's a lot of content, gaming content, series content. That's I like this. I like talking about all these types of stuff. It's going to be a great month, a great summer. We're going to have a lot of fun.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so now it's time to go to our picks of the week. So every week, of course, our new game releases that come out, releases.com. So I'm going to go first, and I've got the trailer here set up. So my pick of the week is The Elder Scrolls Online Gold Road. So embark on an adventure with the rich storytelling and lore unique to The Elder Scrolls. Discover the vastness of Tamriel, a dynamic and expansive universe where your decisions mold your journey, whether you venture alone or with companions. Engage in explorations, quests, crafting, and role-playing in a realm where you can tailor your abilities and equipment to match any playing style. Enjoy the freedom of no game subscription. Purchase once and play at your convenience. So coming to PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series on June 3rd. So yeah, so more of the Elder Scrolls Online, guys. So that is my pick of the week.
Yeah, hasn't this been going, like Elder Scrolls Online? It's been going almost 10 years, I think.
Yeah.
It's been going for a long time.
So good on them for keep making it and keep making content for people that really love this. I have not tried the Elder Scrolls Online. I'm just not an MMO guy, and I have hard enough time committing between all the other stuff I play and the content creation stuff for here and my own stuff. It's
right.
But I hope to try it one day.
Yeah.
Like I played a lot of Warcraft. World of Warcraft. It was a lot. I loved it. I did try the Final Fantasy 14. I used to follow a streamer called Slugs. She played a lot of this, a lot of Elder Scrolls Online. and I followed her a lot, and she was really good at the game, and I really liked the game. But we got to a time that there's no time to do the. There's no time. There's no time.
Yeah. Okay, so Carl's not here today. So Burley, you're up next. What do you got for us?
Mine is Ghost Teen Escape from Limbo. What is a reckless, adventurous kid to do when he ends up stuck between life and death? With Ghost Teen Escape from Limbo, you have to exploit your ghost form to solve a multitude of tricky platforming puzzles in hope of returning to your home amongst the living. Explore 50 single-screen puzzles in black and white, pixel 2D pixel art style, brain-teasing stage, sorting out simple but gradually increasing in complexity and challenge. Keep trying puzzles as many times as it takes for you to find your way back to the living world. It is coming on June 5th to PC, PS4, PS5, Switch, Xbox One, and Xbox Series. I love this art style, and even though I suck at them, I do love platformers and I do love puzzles. So
nice.
Feels like something I would play on the Game Boy when I was a kid. That looks beautiful. I liked it. So, Dragon is dead. Every dragon that dared to confront the gods has met their demise, except for Quernian. As the leader of the Dark Dragons, Quernian, who has witnessed the extinction of his brethren at the hands of the gods and succumbed to malevolence, is now tainting the world with his corruption. Oh, tainting, yeah, that's it. Overcome with fury and insanity, you are destined to be the Dragon Slayer, the only one capable of defeating Guardian. Vanquish him to liberate the afflicted survivors from their torment, confront and eliminate the monstrous creations and formidable giants spawned by Guardian, equipped with an array of skills and gear along the Dragon Tongue runes that enhance these abilities. Adventurers are poised to overcome any adversity, embrace the inevitability of death as a cataclysm to refine your skills, hone your capabilities, and arm yourself with formidable gear. Accept the challenge with courage and aspire to achieve mastery. It will come out on Friday, June the 7th. It will be a PC early access. And if you guys know me, because it's been a long time here, you guys know I love a roguelike, and this is a roguelike type game. Who doesn't like dragons? I like dragons. One of my favorite movies is How to Train a Dragon. So I did like this. This is something that if I have time to play, I will definitely play because it looks like it's really, really fun.
So Fubu, that means you're going to be watching. You're going to be watching House of the Dragon then, yeah, season 2.
Of course I will. Of course I will. It's going to be like, I think I feel more sad when the dragons die than the people die. So I remember on those last seasons on Game of Thrones, spoiler alert, but when Daenerys dragon dies before we know it's turned into an undead, it was really sad. Yeah, it got me really sad. So I do like this. Like since I was a kid, I really always liked dragons, and this adds to things that I liked, because one of my favorite games growing up, it was also Castlevania Symphony of the Night. It had that Metroidvania aspect. That is not explained here, but I hope this game has a bit of Metroidvania where you have to backtrack to old areas with new abilities to find new stuff. I think it will be a given that happens, but this game really interests me, and it looks like it's going to be a blast. The only problem that I feel here is because it's early access, I don't know if the game is going to be 100% complete. But let's be honest, we always buy games that are not 100% complete. Cyberpunk, for example, it wasn't a well-done game, and we paid full price. So yeah, that's my pick of the week. Dragon is dead.
Yeah, and I like the art style of the the cover here, and of course the girl on there. She looks like a Targaryen. So of course,
Could have been on purpose.
Yeah, of course, yeah, done on purpose, I think so. All righty, So those are our picks of the week. So you can go to releases.com. That's www.releases.com. You can check out all the new games that are releasing this coming week and through the rest of June and beyond. So check that out. All right. Okay, so up next. So Burley, PS Plus. So we talked about the state of play, and we also got, of course, the monthly games as well as days of play that is going through June 12th, I think it is. So let us know what's going on with PS Plus for June.
Yep. So we have announced for the essential tier. You've got coming on June 4th. You've got SpongeBob SquarePants: The Cosmic Shake. You have your SpongeBob platformer collectathon. You also have AEW Fight Forever. So if you don't want WWE but you want wrestling, there's your other wrestling game. And a great beat 'em up, Streets of Rage 4. I remember playing that years ago when that came. So I think it also launched it in Game Pass too, a few years back. So if you like your beat 'em ups, check out Streets of Rage 4. It's definitely one to try. And so we do have days of play. So we do have them. They're doing pricing down on hardware for both VR and the actual console itself. The first real price cuts we're getting on any of this. So if you have been interested, this is and you have the money, this is the time to buy, because you got that plus main games. Our first party games have been taking price dip, as well as they're also giving you, if you are going to pick up the VR2 or your own VR2, that will be able to play Ghostbusters: Rise of Ghostland, Walkabout Mini Golf, Synth Riders Before Your Eyes, and The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners Chapter 1 and 2. And we did get an announcement on June 11th. We're getting PS2 games coming in: Tomb Raider Legend, Star Wars The Clone Wars, and Sly Cooper and the Devious Raccoonus. We have no word on trophies or anything for these games, so you will have to just wait and see on that. But hey, we got some stuff, June. We'll be getting more list for the extra and premium in the coming weeks.
Right. Very good. All right.
I'm happy about the PlayStation 2 games because there's a lot of hidden gems that I would love to play into Plat. I would love that. So let's hope it's not something sporadic and they keep giving us more and more and more PlayStation 2 games.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, Fubu. They will give you more games on it than what Nintendo does with their offerings.
Yeah.
That's true.
Where you get where you get 2 1 month and then you wait 4 months and then we'll give another NES game.
Right.
Oh yeah, we have the service. Let's give something. So they shut up. So yeah. But I don't know, man. I'm just gonna give my 2 cents regarding this. I hate this month. Like, okay, Streets of Rage, it's a good game. I'm not gonna take that away. But for the amount of money we give each month, yearly, I pay yearly. I think it should be better. And one of the comments that I left on Discord, I'm not considering, but at the moment that I wrote that, I was really considering. I was like, I was gonna screw PlayStation. I'm gonna buy an Xbox so I can play for free online, because at this moment I'm paying to play online, and that sucks because I already pay to have internet. I don't need to pay to play online, so that's really sucks. And for the amount of money that we're giving and the price raise they gave a few months ago, I think they should be giving. I'm not going to say a AAA game every month because that would be impossible, but a double A or something. Give us something that's worth the money for the month at least. They need to shape up because Game Pass is kicking our asses.
Well, and I'm just playing devil's advocate here. You know what they're going to tell you for this month? We're giving away VR games. So
Yeah.
and this and that.
Yeah,
So
for the 5% of the play base that actually has a
That's the
PSVR headset.
5% is being generous on
Yeah,
the PSVR.
Yeah, I don't know the exact figures, but probably less than that. But anyway, yeah.
Look, what Sony should do, because they can't sell all of their PSVR hardware, they're going to say, you've been a loyal fan for all these years. We're going to mail you a PSVR so you can play it. That would be, then I would probably play once or twice because I get motion sickness very easily. But I would try it at least. That's what they should do if they want to push some VR. So because, like you said, 5%. I'm never going to play those VR games. Never, because I don't intend on buying a VR hardware. That's not going to happen, and it's unfair.
Yeah. All righty. Okay. So that's the PS Plus, for the month of June. So, of course, as Burley said, we'll be getting more information about the extra and premium later on. So, we'll be checking that out. So now it's time to talk about our programming notes. And of course, on the Arena Productions, we are not only a gaming news and game development video site, we are also entertainment and pop culture related. And a new show we just started, and my show, The Expat Files. So the first episode in audio format is up on the YouTube channel. So you can check that out. And it's also in audio format on free podcast services. So the Expat Files, I talk about my story in episode 1, as well as talking about some of the things related in Japanese history to what's going to happen in the Assassin's Creed Shadows game. I talk a little bit about that and much more. So each week I'll be recording an episode talking about video games, entertainment, pop culture, as well as some other news related to Japan, where I live here, and other things from around the globe. So the Expat Files. So please go and check that out. And then I posted the last episode of Star Trek Discovery, Season 5, Episode 10, the series finale titled Life Itself. So, so that was an interesting episode to do a recap and review for. So please go and check that out on the YouTube channel as well. So on the Arena Productions. So that. And we have another new show that is starting. It's going to be in early access and for members on the YouTube channel, as well as on our Patreon, patreon.com/The Arena Productions. It's called What's on Tap. So TAP, TAP, which stands for the Arena Productions, of course. And this new show is going to be focusing on, it's going to be basically, be focusing on new content that's going to be coming, for example, TV shows, entertainment, pop culture, as well as video games. So What's on Tap? Please go and check that out. The first episode we're recording just after this episode, and we're going to be talking about Star Wars: The Acolyte, which is coming next week. So the first episode will be in early access for the first 48 hours, and then it will go free on the YouTube channel as well as on our Patreon. So please check it out. So that is, our content updates and programming notes for this week. So a lot of great stuff coming your way. So good stuff. All right. So before we end the show, it's time to talk about the games that we will be, or games that will be streaming this coming week. So Burley, what do you got on the docket for this coming week?
Well, for streaming wise, I've got Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door HD. So finally, my first ever playthrough for Thousand-Year Door. I'm starting with the HD version, so I cannot wait on that. But I've also got another game that came out earlier this year, Rise of Ronin, that was gifted to me. So be trying and streaming those.
Nice. Fubu, how about you? What are you going to be playing?
I'm going to play Zao because I stopped playing that game because I was on FIFA. on the AFC, but I stopped playing that because of the game. But I'm going back because the story is very good. It's against a Metroidvania game. I'm having a blast with that game, and I want to complete it and plat the game. So that's going to be the focus for this week because, like I said at the beginning of the show, after this weekend league on the AFC, it's done, and I'm going to focus on what I really like. The other games, just enjoy stories like this one, because I think I already talked about that game, to be honest. But it's about there's a lot of African heritage, and mythology. So I really like that because I like to learn about those things.
Cool. And for myself, I'll be finishing up Hellblade 2. So I'm looking forward to finishing that and talking about it a little bit more here on the show. So yeah, some good stuff. So yeah, we've got so much coming up within the next couple of weeks. All these showcases. Before we finish the show, guys, anything from one particular show you're looking forward to seeing the most? Of course, for myself, the Ubisoft Forward. I think the actual gameplay of Assassin's Creed Shadows is what I am anticipating the most out of any of these showcases. But what is it about all the showcases that you're looking forward to? One thing you're looking forward to the most, Burley?
For me, I'm gonna go Nintendo for this, and because like they said they're going to reveal their next hardware in their fiscal year, so and they said they're still gonna focus on the Switch this year. They've still got stuff like we got Luigi's Mansion coming at the end of the this month. So I'm curious to really see, are we going to get a teaser for the next console for Nintendo, and what are we going to be shown in this direct, or see what are they going to keep us to hype us for the new console and keep us if they don't show up, what are they going to show us to that we can expect for the lot? Because let's just be honest, this is going to be the last year of the Switch. What's the Switch going to go out with? Is it just going to be more remakes or ports?
Yeah.
Or are we going to get some other big kind of game that none of us saw coming?
Yeah. One other big announcement I'm looking forward to on the Xbox showcase side of things is the Gears of War 6 announcement. Looking forward to that from the Coalition. So yeah, that's going to be interesting to see how that's going to look if they show anything on that. So, Fubu, what are you looking forward to the most out of all of these showcases that's coming up within the next 2 weeks?
I'm going with Berlin one part. I'm really interested on the new Nintendo console, the Super Switch. We're going to call it the SS. It's going to be a Super Switch, and I want to know more about it because I think it's more than enough time so that they announce something new. It's been a long time. And the second one, which I already mentioned before, but I want to know about the FIFA 2K25. I want to know about that because it's high time they destroy EA Sports because it's not good. Those are the two things that I want to know, and I hope they announce it very quick.
All right. No. We can't have you watching any of these kind of FIFA games and stuff. You're too weak to that, Fubu. We need to get you clean, get you playing some real games.
I know it's my week. I need to play some real games. I was the other day. I was looking at Jedi Survivor. I was almost buying the game. I was like, they're probably going to give it on PlayStation Plus. I'm going to hold a little bit more.
Oh, that's going to be like another year or two before they give that game. Do you think that game ain't going to be on any of the PlayStation tiers?
Yeah, and you got Star Wars Outlaws coming soon too. So yeah, I'm excited for that.
Exactly. They might release before Outlaws, like on Plus. Or not, I'm not going to say the normal tier, but the premium tier, the most expensive one, they might release that like 1 month before because it's it's Star Wars and people might think it's connected and people might want to buy the game. So we'll see. But I'm waiting on that. That's one of the reasons I haven't bought the game yet because I have a feeling it might come sooner than later on the PlayStation Plus.
Yeah. All right. So let us know in the comments what you thought of the state of play and, your thoughts on all the other news that we talked about in this episode. We'd really like to hear from you in the comments. So anyway, it's time to end the show with our indie recording artist spotlight. So every week we spotlight a musical indie recording artist and their music, and then we do an outro with their music. So this week's spotlight is on Jonathan Gerstenstein. Jonathan Gerstenstein is a musician whose passion for music began at the age of 6. Dedicated to mastering the art of production and sound design, he holds a degree in multidisciplinary music from Ono Academic College, where he graduated with distinction. Through his studies, Jonathan was mentored by some of the most renowned local musicians, producers, and sound engineers. So over the years, Jonathan has worked as a composer, arranger, producer, and sound designer for various artists, theaters, films, and more. From the title song of his album called Coming Soon. So this has been The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast, episode 172. I've been your host, Expat, along with my co-hosts and contributors, Burley of Burleman Gaming and Fubo87. We hope to catch you in the next one. So, of course, we record on Saturdays, 2 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time and 5 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And next week, we'll be, of course, talking about the Summer Game Fest that will have just have been completed, as well as getting ready for all the other showcases that are coming up in the next, week to 2 weeks. So anyway, take care, and we hope you enjoy the outro, and have a great week of gaming, everybody. Peace out.